Hello there. It's been a while since I did anything. I decided to do a little bit of a video today, but I also decided I could stream it. Stream me recording the video, because why not? So I'm just gonna get set up here. Fucking the weird delay. I've got a second screen now, which makes streaming a hell of a lot easier. I've got a huge fucking wet patch because I'm just taking out the shower in my hair. Anyway, fuck it, we ball, right? That's my new philosophy of the year. So, today we're going to talk about game reviews. And the topic of today's discussion. Start that again. It's fine. Nobody's watching. I'm sure that second like is just from nobody watching. As I said, this is just me recording for a video. The fact that I'm streaming it, if you want to chat, that's fine. But I'm just here recording a video. So, and you get to see the process. You get to see all the retakes. So, serious. Today, the topic of today's discussion is game reviews. Specifically, who gets to make game reviews? Because I've been looking at, there's been a few discussions I've been watching the last few days about Steam reviews specifically. And in my opinion, we kind of all know that Steam reviews are a bit shit, or this is my opinion at least. But I was in a Discord the other day, and there was a conversation going on, and someone was making this point saying, sometimes the Steam reviews are the quality of just like, this is bad. The Steam review will just say, this is frustrating, right? And I wouldn't consider that a quality review. But the point being made in reverse was that let's go back. Let's reframe this, right? Let's frame this debate. So I think we need a bit more context here. What is a good review, right? And who gets to make it? If you're leaving bad reviews, or if bad discussion is going on, is your opinion still valid? I think that's the kind of question that I want to answer in this, and just give my opinion on and feedback on. So yeah, I was viewing this discussion in a Discord the other day. I kind of jumped in, and it was a very heated discussion between two people. And I think there was some devil's advocate argumentation going on. And the crux of the argument one person was making is that there are reviews that are just not worth your time. Not worth your time reading. Steam reviews specifically. If you look at Steam reviews for a lot of games, they're kind of just trash. And I don't use the word trash like that. I find it an annoying word. But some things merit it. And the state of Steam reviews is not good. You don't go to Steam to get a good review, generally speaking. But that can also be real frustrating for game devs sometimes. Because people will be leaving negative reviews and they will just not be worthwhile. Like if someone goes to play The Witness and they go, well, I don't like puzzles, so this game is crap, and they leave a negative review, well, that kind of sucks for the Witness, right? Obviously they've made their money already, not a huge deal, but the pool of games is getting more and more fraught on Steam. And so a lot of these small indie games that don't already have backing can get fucked real bad by this if bad people encounter the game early on. This is why a lot of these devs have to kind of do a lot of pre-marketing and essentially get a lot of friends to give them, like, people who've been beta testing, people who know the game, to give a lot of reviews early on, good reviews, just so that like one bad review doesn't fuck you. But anyway, the point was being made on this discussion I was viewing that low quality reviews are unhelpful. And there was a point made in reverse that I find interesting, that I think is worth discussing. This person was saying, well, if a game reviewer, someone who's kind of a journalist, kind of knows how to enunciate their opinions, wants to say like a game is frustrating, they'll usually elaborate a bit. Take a video essayist, they'll probably tell you who the game might be frustrating for, who it might not be frustrating for, what could be changed to make the game less frustrating, why it's frustrating, all of these things, whereas a bad review will just say it's frustrating. And the devil's advocate opinion coming from this second side was saying, just because they can't enunciate their opinions well and explain their feelings well to other people, does that mean their feelings are invalid? And that's kind of an interesting point to examine, because I think, no, their opinions aren't invalid. They might be feeling the exact same thing as the reviewer who put that in 50,000 words, or 1,000 words, or 50 words, instead of just saying it's frustrating. But it's all the same thing, in a sense, right? But not right. My take on this, my little add-on, is this. Just because their opinion is valid doesn't make the review not shit. Right? I think we need to talk about the quality of critique and why that's important. There was another interesting discussion going on about Cyberpunk 2077 lately. And it's won the, well, in general, the Steamies, the Steam Awards of the year. There were some complaints from people about saying, this doesn't really fit this. Like, this won this, really? Cyberpunk won Labor of Love, really? And I kind of agree. And it comes down to, with the Steamies, it's about exposure, essentially. How much exposure that game gets. Even if maybe 10% of the people that played the game think it's worth a Labor of Love award, if the game has 1 million players versus 100,000 players, and the game with 100,000 players, half of the people think it deserves a Labor of Love award. The one with the huge number of players is still going to win that award because it's just about numbers at the end of the day. But anyway, I just wanted to give a quick talk about that. Because I think it's important that we differentiate between who can make reviews and whether those reviews are good, right? I think it's okay to have a shitty Steam review section. That's what it's for. You don't go to Steam reviews to get good in-depth reviews. You probably, these days, go to YouTube to get that. So it's fine for that to exist. But it's also fine to critique that and say, it's shit. Right? Yo, Jazzy. I don't know if I just didn't see that. Yeah. So it's fine to critique a review for being bad. And we should do that. I think critique is very, very important. I'm just recording a video and I decided to stream it just for fun. Just talking about who gets to review games, essentially. But yeah, so just because a review is bad doesn't mean a person's opinion is invalid, but that also doesn't make the review good. Doesn't make the review helpful to other people. I think we've all left some shitty Steam reviews. Well, a lot of us have. I'm sure some of us have left a Steam review to the effect of just out of frustration saying, this just crashes my PC every time, it sucks, or this game is just very frustrating. I don't tend to leave reviews that are about frustrating games because I just have a very high tolerance for frustration. I've found just so many years of playing highly frustrating games and banging my head against games just because I'm a bit of a scientist about it. There's something that compels me to get to the end, to get the juice out of it. Yeah, well, I think game reviews that are good, the key thing is that other people understand your point of view, right? Because you can say this game is bad, but that doesn't tell anyone anything. But if you say, I didn't like this game because it doesn't tell you what to do, then that tells you something, right? Because someone someone like me who doesn't like being told where to go and what to do, we don't like too much instruction, I don't, we're going to see that and go, oh, okay, so I actually might like this game. And then you'll go and read a review from someone who has a similar perspective, and they're like, yeah, this game is just free, they don't tell you where to go, what to do, and they'll love it. That's informative, that's helpful, even when it's a negative review, even when the review has a different opinion from me, it's still helpful. Another example of that is I was trying to convince my girlfriend to play Breath of the Wild, and I was like, oh, you don't get it, it's so amazing, you can just walk in any direction, you can just pick a direction and go, the game doesn't tell you where to go. And she was like, yeah, but I like it when the game tells me where to go, I don't like it when I'm just directionless and lost. And I was like, yeah, you might not like the game then. But that's productive, right? That's more productive than saying just, well, it's a great game, you should play it anyway. And I think that's what bad reviews do. Bad reviews kind of, to steal Peter Griffin's line, it insists upon itself. A bad review insists upon itself. I think it's bad, so it is bad objectively. That's not helpful to anyone, unless the world consists of many, many yous. So that's what a helpful review is. How can we make our reviews more helpful? Well, I think it's important to talk about the whys and the hows and explore other perspectives. Because like I say, to me, a review is all about relating to other people the useful information. So, again, if you think a game is frustrating, say why. Is it because the game doesn't tell you where to go? Is it because the enemies are just too difficult? Is it because the game forces you to replay sections you've already played and you just have a low tolerance for repeating the same shit over and over? Like, because I get that. Some people don't mind repeating the same thing over and over. Some people will happily play like the same level of a mobile game every day that's essentially the same thing, like MMOs. They have a very high tolerance for repetition. So that's no problem to them. Roguelikes have a similar problem. Or maybe it's not a problem. Maybe it's not a problem to you. But if you explain that why, that how, then it's going to be useful to someone, right? So, who gets to make reviews? Who doesn't? Everyone gets to make reviews. But also, do we get to say that a review can be good or a review can be bad? Yes, we do. And it's very important. Without that last step, we can't really get into the nitty-gritty of anything. Any topic in life, if we can't critique it, If we can't say this analysis was good, this analysis was bad, you know, that's what we have scientific papers for, right? If we can't criticize, take any topic. I don't want to go political. But you know, government. If you can't criticize the government, if you can't criticize anything, then it's just the whole thing falls apart, right? And the same is true for games. We're bringing it back to games. We've got to be able to talk shit. But let's go deeper, right? Let's go Inception. What is helpful about talking shit? Because when we critique, that's the same rules as reviewing, right? We've got to be able to talk about what makes our critiques good, what makes our critiques helpful to other people. And it's basically the same shit as reviews. You got to be able to explain it. You got to be able to explain why. If you can't explain why a review is bad, then it's completely unhelpful to anyone reading that review. This is why I'm obsessed with comment sections. I always go into the comment sections on articles. The moment I finish an article and I'm like, that's kind of sus. It's kind of sus, right? I think there's a few problems with this article. You go to the reviews and you find someone who's picked that shit apart right away. You go, okay, this guy knows the score. And you go, okay, this guy has put it in an ordered list that makes it easy to explain, or rather, it makes it easy to understand for me. I can now understand why this review is bad, because we've listed, did they actually explain their points well? Or were they just stating blanket statements? Like, for instance, you want to talk about music. Say the music was like good. I thought the music was banging. I loved it. Is that helpful? No. Not as a review. So if we critique that and we go, well, I think you should have explained what the music is actually like. And so you can go, okay, you should say the music is moody, or it's boppy, or it's this, or it's that. That's a good critique, right? Because we've explained what's bad about the review. I don't know why I'm doing. I don't know why I'm going one level deeper, but I'm just following the rabbit hole here. I'm just rambling. This is completely unscripted. Exactly, Jazzy. I think when you advise someone to buy something or not, the most useful thing you can say is say, if you like things that have this or are like this, then buy this. For example, if I'm trying to get someone to buy Cyberpunk 2077, and I'm like, this game, the sort of gunplay is a little janky, but the lore is really good. The story is really interesting. But the choices aren't much. The story is basically on rails. The choices are kind of ephemeral. They're not really there. So what do we say then? We say, okay, if you're a gamer that just like really just wants to shoot things and have a good time, well, probably just buy Doom. If you really like that stuff, there is fun to be had in Cyberpunk, but it might fall short. It might not be the best game you've ever played. If you really like story games, depends. If you really like games that are just tell a good story, like God of War or any of these PS4 games, great. You're going to love this. If you're into cyberpunk dystopian stories, you're going to love this. If you like when games give you a choice and make it so that you feel that your choices matter, you might not like the game. And that's a helpful review. That's a good review. So I'm gonna try and wrap it up. I'm gonna try and bring it all back around. So at the end of the day, Who gets to make reviews? Anyone. We all get to have a say. We all get to make reviews. We all get to make critiques. Who gets to critique? We all get to critique. We all get to critique those reviews. But is there also such a thing as a good review and such a thing as a bad review? Yes. And we need to define what that is. And if we don't, it's all just shit. And it's all helpful to exactly fucking nobody. And that's my take. That's my spiel. So I decided to make this. I decided to do a video. I haven't done a huge amount of content in the last 6 months. Really basically nothing in the last 6 months. And the reason for that is that I've been hard at work on Frontier. And I'm okay with that. It's taking most of my free time at the moment. So what that basically means for the channel, I do like my video essays. I do like to edit my stuff. But what I might be doing, first off, I'm just going to be doing fewer videos, obviously. I've moved away from that and focusing more on Frontier. Secondly, I might be doing a few more things like this, where it's kind of just unscripted talking. Maybe I'll do a stream here and there of actually playing a game. Maybe I'll go back to Disco Elysium, because I do want to finish that game. And maybe by the end of the year, I'll have something to show in regards to Frontier, but I'm making no promises there. This year is going to be a busy year. But I would like to have something to show off Frontier by the end of the year. And I would like to maybe start doing a few devlogs. But we'll see. In the meantime, well, I'll just leave you with this. Thank you for watching, everybody. And I will see you all in the times, my blessed children. Have a lovely rest of your day and have a lovely rest of your week, wherever you live in. I have not fucking recorded any of this, so hopefully I can download this stream. All right. Thank you all. I will see you all in the times.